Hi, now let's talk about the relationship between roots and coefficient of quadratic equations, the ABC, okay? Okay, let me show you this, okay? If you have this quadratic equation, and if I do it by simplification, I mean by factorization or simplified, then I'll get this thing, okay? So the answer will be x equal to -2 or x equal to -1. Do you know that you actually have this 3s minus x1 plus x2. Means you add these two things up, the answers, the roots, you add it up, it will be equals to negative of this number 3. Negative of this number 3. Okay? And this number 2 is actually this x1 times x2. Means these two roots, you multiply together, you get this one. Okay? So that's kind of magical, right? I guess. Okay? So, alright, so I'll just give you a summary here. Okay? So, x1 plus x2, we will call this what? Sum of root or SOR. Okay? Then x1 times x2, we will call this product of roots or POR. Okay? Alright. Okay, so now let A and B, alpha and beta, okay, you can call it something else. So that is x equal A alpha and x equal beta. So then these two things, you multiply them equal to 0. Why it will be equals to 0? Because they are roots, right? If you substitute into the equation, left hand side must be equal to 0, right hand side must be equal to 0. That's why they are roots. Okay, they multiply them together, so you get this thing over here. So I combine these two terms, then I will have minus bracket alpha plus beta. It's plus, right? Because I put a minus, right? And bracket this whole thing, then plus them together, x plus this thing. So what does it mean? Do you see something here? Do you see something here? X is alpha, x is beta, they are roots. This term here is your b, right? This thing here is your b. So your coefficient here is minus your sum of roots plus the multiplication of roots or product of roots. So x squared minus SOR, sum of roots, x plus POR, product of roots, is equals to 0. This is every quadratic equation, it will be of this form. Okay? So if you know this, you can solve something easily. Okay? Alright, so that is sum of roots, and that's POR, product of roots. Let's try this. I have written this down. Okay? I want to solve this one. How do I solve this one? Okay. I think I can do this. The sum of roots is 7, not -7. Okay? 7. Product of roots is 12. You take the whole thing. And but what is my roots? I need to call them something, right? Like you call me Kaler, you call yourself something, okay? So I need to call them, I need to name them. So I should let x1, x2 be roots. That's how you start the question. This is crucially important, okay? Very important. You need to know how to name the roots before telling, oh, x1, x2. If you directly go for something like this one and something like this one, no one knows what you are talking about because you didn't tell me what is x1, what is x2. So in the exam, if the question somehow just give you x and y, you don't know what they are saying. Okay? So you have to tell what is this x1, what is this x2. They are roots of this quadratic equation. Okay? Then you can talk about this sum of roots is equal to 7, product of roots is equal to 12. If I write in this way, it's very hard for me to do it. Okay? Because I need to find something, right? I need to find the x1 and x2. Okay, then I find x1 and x2 means I'm finding roots. Find roots, so I would guess, you see, x1 equal 3, x2 is equal 4, then 3 times 4 is 12, 3 plus 4 is 7. So I guess it, then I get the correct answer. And this is by trial and error. Okay, so if you are able to take SPM means you have already done all the chapters in Form 4 and Form 5. Meaning that you can solve these two equations by using something called simultaneous equations. Okay? Then you'll be able to solve it not by guessing it. Now I'm trying to guess it. Okay? So later on, you'll be able to like sub the first equation into the second equation, solve for it, and you get the answer. So the examiner, of course, will expect you to know that already. That's why you have to know how to solve this in the future. But now for this moment, I don't test you, I don't give you anything that requires some special talent from you. So it's just guessing and you get the answer. Okay? But later on, you definitely need to know how to get this one, right? Solve this kind of simultaneous equations, okay, and get the answers. So for this one, I guess you're smart enough to guess right. X1 is 3, X2 is 4, or the balik also okay. Okay, take another way on. X1 equal 4, X2 equal 3, it doesn't matter. So your answer for this one will be 3 and 4. So you try this yourself, okay? So try this yourself. I don't write this one first. Okay, so try this yourself and pause the video to see the answers. Okay, given that 3 and -5 are roots, so now I gave you roots. I want the original quadratic equations. So what do I do here? I write down what is my sum of roots. My sum of roots is -2. My product of roots is -15. Then I plug into the formula. I get this thing, which is x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal plus minus 15 is equal to 0. Pandainya. Okay, no problem, right, for this question? We move on. Okay, little challenge for you. Pause the video before you look at the answers. Okay, for this question, we'll solve it in one shot, in one go. Let alpha and beta be roots. See, like I told you, they can't simply say what is alpha, what's beta without telling you what are they. Okay, they will tell you what is it, be roots. So alpha, beta, be roots of this one. Okay, so what do you do here? This I say little challenge. Why? Because here you got a 3. Here it's 1. So what do? You want to make sure the coefficient here is 1. So I write this down. I divide both sides by 3. I get this one. Then I can compare here. Compare coefficient. Okay, sum of roots is -6. Why not 6? Because minus sum of roots. Be careful about this one. Don't write x squared plus sum of roots plus product of roots. It's minus. Be careful. Okay, that's one thing that you need to remember. Product of roots will be 8, not -8. Okay, it's just product of roots plus. Okay, simple. Then what do I have? Do I get my answers right? Of course I got, because sum of root, what does it mean? Means alpha plus beta equals 96, and product of roots means alpha times beta equals to 8. Then I get my 2 answers. Very simple. Okay, marks is yours. Okay, let's move on. What I do here is I try to solve this one by formula, and I help you to verify this. Okay, verify this. Okay, so I do this one. I plug in all the things here. A is 3, B is 18, C is 24. I get my answer. One is -4, one is -2. If you add these 2 up, do you get this? Yes, -6. If you multiply these 2 up, what do you get? You get positive 8. So verify. Okay, so that's how you check answer in the exam. Okay, this step is not needed. You just need until here. You get an answer. This is for you to check if you have time. Okay, great. Okay, one of the roots of the equation, this thing is 3 times of the other. Find all possible values of k. Try this. I won't do it. Okay, try this. Pause the video and try this, and you come back to look at the answer. Okay. All right. So now, the most important part. If you don't do this, then you lost your marks. Okay, you can write this one. Very, very important. Let alpha 3 alpha be roots. Why do I say 3 alpha? Because one of the roots of the equation is 3 times of the other roots. So I can't be writing alpha and beta be roots. Cannot write this one. Okay. because if you write this, you won't be able to solve it because you have two variables. If you write one as alpha, the other one as 3 alpha, you only have one variable. So this one, very, very, very important. Okay, you got to know this. Okay, then I have this equation. What do I do? It's 3 here. I need to divide by 3 so that I get x squared minus sum of roots x, okay, then plus product of roots is equals to 0. Okay, this is x squared, okay, 1x squared. So I divide by 3. Then what does it mean? Sum of roots is equals to negative k, and product of roots is equal to 12. And what I have, information that I got just now, one is alpha, one is 3 alpha. Add them up, sum of roots means 4 alpha is equal to negative k. The other one, you multiply them together, is alpha times 3 alpha is equal to 12. And that gives me this thing, 4 alpha is equal to negative k, and also 3 alpha squared is equal to positive 12. Solve for these two. How to solve? I take which one? I want to find k, right, eventually. So I do this one first. I do 2 first. From 2, alpha squared is equal to 12 divided by 3. So you get 4. So alpha squared is equal to 4, means alpha is equal to positive negative 2. I sub this alpha equal to positive negative 2 into equation 1. Then I'll get k equals to negative 4 times alpha, negative 4 times positive 2. So I get negative 8. Second answer, I sub negative 2 inside negative 4 alpha. So negative 4 times negative 2, I get 8. Okay, just try to look at it, see whether you are fine or not. But I think you have tried this yourself, right? So you should be fine with this. Okay, just look at how I start. This is the key point. How to start is the key point. Okay, then this step to this step also crucial. Others are very simple. Okay, so next summary. So x squared minus sum of roots x plus product of roots is equal to 0. Sum of roots, product of roots, okay? Then this one is equal to 0 means you have to divide by a. Divide by a so that you get coefficient is 1. Then the sum of roots is b, negative b over a. Product of roots is c over a. Remember, minus product of roots. Sorry, here, minus product of roots. Okay, all right. Solve a problem by letting alpha and beta or x1, x2 be roots. Okay, let this be roots. Okay, I write be roots. Huh? Okay, and that's how you start. Okay, let alpha, beta be roots. Let x1, x2 be roots. Okay, all right. So I'll see you